On May 16, 2023, Sam Altman entered room 226 of the Dirksen Senate Office Building in Washington, D.C. The occasion was a Senate Judiciary Subcommittee hearing titled Oversight of A.I. Rules for Artificial Intelligence. The scene contained a paradox. Altman was the chief executive of the company behind ChatGPT, a technology that had become a household name within months. Yet instead of asking government to stay away, he told lawmakers that regulation was essential. Why would a builder invite rules around the machine he was helping create? The answer begins before OpenAI. Altman entered Stanford intending to become a programmer. A student research project became Loopt, a location-based startup funded in Y Combinator's first batch. He left college to build it. The company did not become a defining consumer platform, but it taught him how uncertainty, timing, teams, and risk shape a startup. He later led Y Combinator from 2014 to 2019, studying hundreds of founders and learning that extraordinary companies often begin as fragile ideas that most people misunderstand. Then came OpenAI. Founded in 2015, it began with a mission larger than a normal product company: develop advanced artificial intelligence so its benefits could reach humanity broadly. ChatGPT later turned that abstract mission into something ordinary people could touch, an interface that could write, explain, summarize, reason, and create. But success created a harder question. When a tool becomes powerful enough to influence education, employment, elections, security, and public knowledge, can the company building it also be the only institution judging its safety? Altman's answer before the Senate was no. He argued for safety testing, external evaluation, flexible standards, and licensing or registration requirements for systems above a high capability threshold. His central principle was simple: the more powerful the model, the greater the responsibility surrounding its release. This produces the first lesson. Innovation and accountability are not enemies. Weak rules can protect outdated systems, but no rules can allow the fastest competitor, not the most responsible one, to define acceptable risk. The second lesson concerns timing. Governments usually regulate after damage becomes visible. Altman asked lawmakers to begin before the most capable systems arrived. That is difficult because society must act without complete information. Move too slowly, and the technology may outrun institutions. Move too quickly, and bad regulation may freeze progress, protect dominant companies, or prevent smaller innovators from competing. Leadership, therefore, requires judgment under uncertainty, not pretending uncertainty does not exist. The third lesson is that intelligence is not the same as truth. AI can produce convincing language without guaranteeing accuracy. It can amplify knowledge, but also error, manipulation, bias, fraud, and propaganda. A fluent answer can feel authoritative even when it is wrong. The educational response is not blind trust or blind rejection. It is verification. Use AI to expand thought, not replace responsibility for thought. The fourth lesson is about work. Altman argued that AI could improve productivity, education, healthcare, and scientific discovery. Yet he also acknowledged anxiety about economic disruption. When machines perform more intellectual tasks, society must ask who gains, who loses, and how people adapt. A technology can create enormous wealth while distributing pain unevenly. Progress should therefore be measured not only by capability, but by whether ordinary people gain useful access, training, mobility, and a real share in the benefits. The fifth lesson is accountability. Altman's testimony sounded responsible, but words must be compared with conduct. OpenAI and other AI companies still face questions about privacy, copyright, concentration of power, transparency, safety, and the pace of deployment. A leader does not earn trust by warning about danger once. Trust is earned when the same standards are accepted when they slow growth, increase costs, or limit power. That is what makes the hearing worth studying. It was not simply a technology executive explaining software to senators. It was a public test of whether the people accelerating history were also willing to accept limits. Altman's journey teaches us to take intelligent risks, learn from imperfect outcomes, think in long time horizons, and build for problems larger than ourselves. His testimony adds one more principle. If you create a tool powerful enough to reshape society, Responsibility does not begin after the consequences appear. It begins before release. The final question is not whether artificial intelligence will become more capable. It is whether human judgment, law, and character can become capable fast enough to guide it.